Tulsa and Oklahoma meet up in a regional rivalry matchup in college football week 3. Oklahoma, of course, is a massive favorite. They're about a 30 or 30.5 point home favorite market wide. And at first glance, you might think that Tulsa might have the edge against the spread as a huge underdog in this rivalry year in and year out. But last year, Oklahoma crushed them by 45, and I believe that Oklahoma has covered the last 5 meetings in a row against the spread. So it's definitely not one of those regional rivalries where the lesser team gets up for that one game and tends to outperform their spreads. And we are going to talk with Jeff from BMOCmoves.com to see if he thinks that Tulsa might have the edge here. The line has moved slightly in their favor so far. The line opened at 32.5. Jeff, I think anyone looking at this and at first, if their first thought is, it's a rivalry game, maybe we'll take Tulsa getting 30 points, and then they look at last year's result, 52-7. That definitely scares them off. Does that scare you off? What do you like here?
You got to remember, Oklahoma they're going to be a letdown spot here. Big win against Tennessee on the road. They come home. Now they play a team in Tulsa who, let's be honest, Peter, this is their Super Bowl. They're playing a team who's kind of the big brother in that state. It's an interstate matchup. A lot of these kids, I'm sure, were not scouted and recruited by Tulsa or by Oklahoma, right. So they had to kind of go to Tulsa. I think they're going to get up for this game, and I think this is going to be. Look, they're not going to win the game, but I think this is like a 42-20 type game. Got to remember, Tulsa can really score. 87 points in their first 2 games. They've scored 30-plus in 5 of 8. I know Oklahoma's defense is pretty good, but I really think with the way Tulsa runs their offense, kind of like that Baylor-style offense, I think they can put some points on the board, and I think this is, a 22, 24-point game. I just think Tulsa's going to get up for this one, and I see a little bit of a letdown spot for the Sooners. So you got to remember also, Tulsa's already won on the road this year. I know it was New Mexico, but it still was a road win. They're not a stranger to the road. I think it's a tough spot for Oklahoma. It's hard to cover 31 to a team that can really score like Tulsa.
Sure. We know that the Tulsa players feel like the bitches of the Oklahoma players. This is their Super Bowl every year, but it was their Super Bowl last year, wasn't it? They got crushed 52-7. And then this stat I didn't actually mine myself. I saw it, so it might not be accurate, but I'm pretty sure that it is. I trust it. 0-5 against the spread over the last 5 meetings. Oklahoma's covered 5 of these spreads in a row. So if it's Tulsa's Super Bowl every year and they're getting up for it, they're not getting up for it enough to cover the spreads.
Yeah, you make some good points there, Peter. Obviously, this has kind of been you mentioned the word bitch. You might be right with that. But you got to remember, a lot of those years they didn't come off a big win on the road against Tennessee. I don't know. It's a tough one. I definitely, as far as the total, I think you got to go lean over. If Tulsa can get around that 20-point mark, you would hope 20, 24 points. Maybe you have Oklahoma around 45-50. It's going to be close, but I think you got to side with Tulsa here. They're a good offensive team, poor defensively, so maybe you lean over, but I think they get within the number. I think it's like a 52-24 type game, something like that.
All right, well, that has been the initial market movement, and maybe that was sharp action. The line opened, I saw first line was 32.5. Now it's down to a 30.5, and so Jeff from BMOCmoves.com recommending a play on Tulsa plus 30.5. And Jeff, we go to your website, BMOCmoves.com. What do we find there?
Oh, you're going to find picks. You're going to find reference points. You're going to find lines. You're going to find also a link to my daily podcast. You can come over and join us every day in the afternoon. A lot of good information, a lot of good guests. I want to get into your side of the business, Peter. I mentioned that to you before. I like hosting shows and kind of getting my words out there. You can find anything over there. Good customer service, good, strong picks. I specialize in college. That's why they call me the big man on campus. That would explain the BMOC. I love college. I love the passion. And I love picking winners every week, Saturday and Sunday in football. So come on over and join us, and hopefully we can get some wins under our belt here for your listeners, Peter. I'm honored to be here.
BMOCmoves.com. Thanks, Jeff.